Hello guys, in this lecture we are going to see principles of DC link control and basic characteristics of HODC system. One of the major advantage of HODC link is the rapid controllability of transmitted power through the control of firing angles of converters. Modern converter controls are not only fast but also very reliable, and they are used for the protection against the line and converter faults. The system control in a HVDC link tends to quite complex with a hierarchy of controllers. High-speed microprocessors are being used for many of the control functions, including monitoring and supervisory control. The control of power in a DC link can be achieved through the control of current or voltage. From minimization of loss considerations, it is important to maintain constant voltage in the link and adjust the current to meet the required power. This strategy is also helpful for voltage regulation in the system from the consideration of the optimal utilization of insulation. It is to be noted that voltage drop along a DC line is small compared to the AC line, mainly because of the absence of reactive voltage drop. Consider the steady state equivalent circuit of a DC link terminal as shown in this figure. This is based on the assumption that all the series connected bridges in both the poles of converter station are identical and have same delay angles. Also, the number of series connected bridges in both the station rectifier and inverter are same. The voltage sources that are nothing but EDR here shown and EDI can be defined as EDR is equal to 3 into root 2 divided by pi NB EVR cos of alpha R. EDI is equal to 3 into root 2 divided by pi NB EVI cos gamma I. This R's in the suffix R, this indicates rectifier side or rectifier station. This I indicates for inverter station. Where EVR and EVI, EVR here in the single line diagram shows here EVR and EVI, that are the line to line voltage in the wall side windings of the rectifier and inverter transformer respectively. From the figure, this voltage can be obtained as, from this figure we can obtain the voltages as EVR is equal to N into SR into ER, N into SR into ER divided by TR and PR. This is nothing but simple transformation ratio. Same here, EI into NSI divided by TI and PI. That will you will get EVI, where this is ER and EI. ER and EI are the AC line to line voltages of the converter buses on the rectifier and inverter side respectively. TR and TI are the off nominal tap ratios on the rectifier and inverter side respectively. By combining these two equations and this equation, by combining that, we can get the EDR, value of the EDR is equal to AR ER divided by TR cos alpha R, and EDI is equal to EI EI AI EI divided by TI cos of gamma I, where AI and AR are the constants. It is to be noted that EDI is defined in terms of extinction angle gamma I rather than beta I. Beta I is the angle of advance in the inverter. EDI can also be written as EDI is equal to AI EI divided by TI cos of beta I. Instead of that gamma I, the extinction angle, instead of extinction angle, it is used angle of advance plus 2 RCI ID, where RCI is nothing but 3 into NB divided by pi XCI, that is equal to XCI, and RCR is nothing but 3NB divided by pi into XCR. XCR and XCI are the leakage reactance of converter transformer in the rectifier and inverter station respectively. The steady state current ID in the DC link is obtained as ID is equals to EDR minus EDI divided by RCR plus RD minus RCI. By substituting the values of EDR and EDI in above equation, we can get the ID as ID is equal to ARER divided by TR into cos alpha. This is EDR, and this is EDI, that is AIEI divided by TI cos of gamma I. Denominator as it is RCR plus RD minus RCI. It is to be noted that the control variables are nothing but TR, TI, and alpha R, beta I. However, for maintaining safe commutation margin, it is convenient to consider gamma I as control variable instead of beta I. As the denominator of this equation, last equation, is small, even small changes in the voltage magnitude ER or EI can result in large change in the DC current. If control variables are held constant, as the voltage changes can be sudden, it is obvious that manual control of converter angle is not feasible. Hence, direct and fast control of current by varying alpha R and gamma I in response to a feedback signal is essential. The direct and fast control over the current is also desirable from the viewpoint of limiting the overcurrent in thyristor valves, which have limited short-term overload capacity. It is to be noted that although current and power can be controlled by changing the transformer taps TR and TI, this can be achieved only by slow control of mechanical switches. As mentioned in the beginning, it is desirable to control the current and regulate the voltage simultaneously in the link. The question that can be posed now is which terminal should be assigned the task of current control while other terminal regulates the DC voltage. From considerations given below as it is desirable to have current control at the rectifier station under the normal conditions. The increase of power in the link is achieved by reducing the alpha R, which improves the power factor at the rectifier for higher loading and minimize the reactive power consumption. The inverter can now be operated at minimum gamma, that is minimum extinction angle, thereby minimizing the reactive power consumption at the inverter also. It is to be also noted that current control at the inverter inverter the worsens power factor at the higher loadings as extinction angle has to be increased. Increased extinction angle also implies higher losses in the Walsh number circuits. The operation at minimum extinction angle at the inverter and current control at the rectifier results in better voltage regulation than operation with the minimum delay angle at the rectifier and current control at the inverter. This is valid for similar values of RCR and RCI. The currents during the line faults are automatically limited with rectifier station in current control. But there is a need to maintain a minimum extinction angle of the inverter to avoid computation failure. It is economical to operate the inverter at constant extinction angle, that is CEA, which is slightly above the absolute minimum required for the computation margin. They result in reduced cost of inverter station, reduced converter losses, and reactive power consumption. However, the main drawback of constant extinction angle control is the negative resistance characteristics of the converter, which makes it difficult to operate stably when the AC system is weak. Constant DC voltage, that is CDCV, constant DC voltage CDCV control, or constant AC voltage CACV control are alternatives that could be used at the inverter. Under normal conditions, the rectifier operates at constant current CC, that is constant current control, and inverter at the constant extinction angle control. Under conditions of reduced AC voltage at the rectifier, it is necessary to shift the current control to the inverter to avoid a rundown of the DC link when rectifier control hits the minimum alpha limit. This implies that current controller must also be provided at the inverter in addition to CEA control. A smooth transition from CEA, that is constant extension angle, to constant current takes place whenever the link current starts falling. To avoid the clash of two current controllers, the current reference at the inverter is kept below that at rectifier by an amount called the current margin. This is typically about 10% of the rated current. The power reversal in the link can take place by reversal of DC voltage. This is done easily by increasing the delay angle at station initially operating as rectifier, while while reducing the delay angle at the station initially operating as inverter. Thus, it is necessary to provide both constant extinction angle and constant current controllers at both the terminals. The on-load tap changer control at the inverter is used mainly to maintain constant DC voltage. The tap changer control at the rectifier is designed to maintain the delay angle within the certain limits, say 10 degree to 20 degree, in order to maintain certain voltage margin for the purpose of current control. A voltage margin of 3% is generally considered to be adequate to meet any sudden demands for the increase in link current. Let's see the converter control characteristics. The basic principle of control of DC link have been stated in the last point. The control characteristics of both stations are shown in this figure, which shows DC voltage at the station, DC voltage at the station, which is with the 2 versus DC current. This curve, the second curve shows that the DC voltage at the station versus DC current. Each station characteristic has 3 parts as shown in this table. This 3 parts is of AB, station 1 it is of AB, then station 1 with the BC, second part, and third CD. This for station 1, and station 2 also having a 3 parts. First is HG, second GF, and third is FE. As I stated, each station characteristics has 3 parts. The first part for station 1 AB and for station 2 HG is nothing but minimum alpha. It is of minimum alpha type. And second part BC and GF, it is of constant current type. And third CD and FE, it is of minimum extension angle type. The interaction of these two characteristics here at point A, you can say these two characteristics are intersecting at point A determines the mode of operation. Station 1 operating as a rectifier. Station 1 is acting as a rectifier with constant current. You can see here voltage is going to decrease or increase, but here current is remains same. So you can say the station 1 operating as a rectifier with constant current control, and station 2 operating at constant minimum extension angle. Station 2, this one, minimum, it is working on the constant CEA, that is constant extension angle. There can be 3 modes of operations of the link for the same direction of power flow, depending on the ceiling voltage of the rectifier, which determines the point of interaction of the two characteristics. These are nothing but constant current at rectifier and constant extension angle at inverter, that shows at operating point A, which is the normal mode of the operation. It is nothing but normal mode of the operation, this one. With slight dip in AC voltage, the point of intersection, if suppose there is a slight drop in AC voltage, then this intersection point becomes as a point C, which implies that minimum alpha at rectifier and minimum gamma at inverter. With lower AC voltage at the rectifier, again suppose that rectifier side AC voltage is going to again decrease, then this point of intersection becomes a point B, which implies constant current at inverter. This one you can see constant current. This is inverter characteristics. So station 2, this nothing but constant current, showing a constant current. So you can say it implies constant current at inverter with minimum alpha at rectifier. The characteristics AB has generally AB, this part AB has generally more negative slope than characteristics FE. For similar values of RCR and RCI. This is because of the fact that the slope of AB is due to the combined resistance of RD plus RCR, while the slope of FE is due to only RCI. However, for low SCR at the inverter, the slope of FE could be more negative than that of AB. Now, this figure is shown the basic characteristics as earlier. This one is the different as compared to this. This figure shows the control characteristics for negative current margin. Here you can see you are getting positive current margin. Here you are getting negative current margin. This figure shows the control characteristics for negative current margin. The operating point shifts now to the D. You can see here the intersection earlier is was point A. Here it become a D, point D, which employs the reversal power reversal with this. This is nothing but the first station characteristics. This second station characteristics. First, if you are observing the characteristic of first station, then it implies the power reversal with the station 1 now acting as an inverter. This one acting as an inverter. Earlier you can see here it is acting as a rectifier. Operating, and second station is operating with the constant extinction angle control and acting as a rectifier. This shows the importance of maintenance the correct sign of current margin to avoid the inadvertent power reversal. The maintenance of proper current margin requires adequate telecommunication channel for rapid transmission of the current or power order from the one station or master station to the other station. In order to prevent inadvertent power reversal in the ring due to failure of telecommunication channels, it is necessary to prevent the inverter from transition to the rectifier operation. This can be easily done by putting minimum limits on the delay angle of the inverter, that is from 100 degree to 110 degree. This is about the basic characteristics of HVDC systems. Thank you very much.